Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Being Intentionally Creative. Today's video is an important one. At least I feel it's an important one, and I think you'll understand as we get talking about it a little bit. So when I was growing up, I was a very creative individual, and I very much enjoyed using my imagination. I loved spending lots of time alone. However, some of the feedback I got with some of the things I was doing never really made me feel confident in myself or the things I was doing. I think some people experience that in their lifetime. When it comes to being creative, and that, again, we haven't gotten into the juicy part of what creativity is and all the magical places it lives. One of the things I stress to people is you have no idea how creative other people may be, and other people may have no idea how creative you are. And one of the things I like to express to people is I have no idea what you can do. Okay? I can flat out say to someone I'm speaking to, have no idea how creative you are, but you do. And you may be thinking, yes, but I hang out with so-and-so and they've never shown me an ounce of creativity. Or, I've seen some of the stuff they've done and it's, nothing close to being creative. Well, I have a couple of thoughts on what you may be thinking or what other people may have said or may be thinking about you. So, I say to people, I am not going to tell you you can't do something when it comes to being creative. Why? Because I don't spend enough time with you to know what you're doing behind the scenes. When I say that, I'm not with you 24/7. I'm not in your mind 24/7. You wouldn't want me there anyways. I don't like being in my own mind some days. The point being, we have no idea what someone else is doing when they're not around us. Okay? And to have someone say, you're not creative because, what you've just drawn looks like nothing, or you're not creative because I've never seen you do a creative thing in your life. And sometimes people say that because they really don't understand the expansion or how broad creativity is, but they also may not trust enough in themselves to realize their own creativity, and therefore they're projecting onto other people what they perceive, and we can't do that. I will never say to anyone, you can't do that, or that's not good enough, or what are you doing? Because I'm not spending the time with them. You could have someone who is very good at art. Let's just use that as an example. Or someone who's extremely talented at cooking, sewing. And because I've never seen them do it, for me to step back and go, no, you're not. Or that isn't a creative anything, is so unfair. Because of the fact that I haven't spent time with them. I don't know that they may be waking up every day with new ideas for recipes or a new idea for a dress or a suit or what have you. They may be researching online how to do certain things. So let's use sewing, because I mean cooking chefs, again, extremely creative when you see some of the cooking shows on TV, just how talented these individuals are. So let's say you love to sew. I don't know how much time you're spending on sewing. So for me to say, I've never seen you sew, so I don't believe you can do it. I don't think you're good enough, what have you, but you are spending time behind the scenes. You are researching sewing. You've got yourself a sewing machine. When you get home from work, you're spending a couple of hours coming up with designs. You're learning the trade, what you need to do to become a really good person who can sew. I don't want to break that enthusiasm you have. I don't want to crush that dream you may have because I don't know how to sew. And I have a sewing machine, very limited. I have tried to sew things. I took home economics where they had us making things. And yes, I will never be a fashion designer, but then I also don't practice it. I don't want to be a fashion designer. But I can appreciate the fact that you if you are someone who sews, you could be spending an enormous amount of time learning how to sew, learning tips and tricks, watching YouTube channels, practicing whenever you can. And I don't want to be the person that says to you, you can't do that, or you're not good enough at that, because I don't know. I may, and I do, honestly. Sewing's not my thing. A straight line, what is that? I have the foot to help me with that. Yeah. So I know a little bit about sewing, but not enough to be able to be an expert on it and criticize someone else who's trying to do it. And I will be totally honest, I really don't like critics. I think someone who feels they are in a position to tell someone else they're no good at something, they need to spend another 4,000 years, practicing doing something that they feel someone needs to do because it doesn't meet their criteria. I think that's really unfortunate, and it's not something I ever want to do to the people I talk to. So I think sometimes we have to be able to step back and go, you know what? Person B over there doesn't get it. They don't know how much time I'm spending. I think there has to be some self-talk in this, in the fact that they don't know what I'm doing. They don't know the research I've done. They don't know how often I'm practicing. They don't know I'm going off to this class or that class, or that I've got a mentor who's sort of helping me through some of the stuff, who respects what I'm doing. And just knowing that it's okay, they don't need to understand. For me to talk to people, I want to inspire you. I want you to, appreciate all you're doing, to tap into your creativity in a way that just can speak volumes to someone. I think the other good thing is that when you have someone who appreciates and may not understand what you're doing, but still wants to support you, I think that's incredibly important too. You may not, as someone who is watching my videos, you may think I'm full of whatever, but I think it's incredibly important that we have the right people in our lives who support us, don't judge us, and are willing to understand that they don't spend all the time with you that you do, and therefore they don't know what you are capable of. And that, again, is incredibly important to me. I don't want anyone to ever feel when they're talking to me that, oh, she's got that look on her face that says, she's not buying what I'm trying to, sell her. And when I say sell, from the perspective of explaining to her why this is so important to me, and, I'm spending all this time. Sometimes people can't see it because they can't do it themselves. If you are a creative and you are watching this, I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to know that if someone starts, I'll say, slamming you for what you're doing, you're going to have to let it be water rolling off a duck's back, because they don't know. So you hold true to the fact that you know what you're doing. Sure, you may not be spending 24/7 working on your creative craft. That's okay. But you're spending time, you're doing something you love, you're being creative, the ideas are coming to you, you're experimenting with them. I do that all the time with my other channel. I come up with some interesting ideas. I don't know how they're going to land with some people, which is totally cool, my channel. But I'm practicing, I'm learning, I'm getting better at, and I can offer some sound advice in some areas. In other areas, it's, okay, people, I need help with this. What do you think? And what are your suggestions? And I like getting those because they're very helpful to me. Having someone who comments and does it in a negative way, then I have to question where it's coming from, why it's directed at me. And I think the biggest thing is, this person doesn't know who I am. This person isn't spending their days with me to see whether or not I am doing this, that, or the other thing. I've been working on various things since 2018. And my course, as I stated in my very first videos, came about in 2020. So I've had a lot of time. Do I practice these things every day? No, I don't. Do I take time off? Yes, I do. Am I trusting in myself better now than I ever did? Yes, I am, because I keep practicing and I keep learning and I keep doing things. So I guess the whole wrap up of this video would be, you need to allow people their space with their creativity. You may not be able to understand it. You may not have that talent yourself. Be respectful of people that share with you their creativity, what they're doing. Because if they're doing it because, if they're going to share with you, it's because they feel they can trust you enough to say it to you. And I can guarantee you that anyone who has slammed anyone, and I know this from experience, they will shut down. I have shut down because people haven't believed in me. And that's why it is so incredibly important to me that if you're watching this and you are creative, and whatever it is you're doing, I really want you to hear this message that if someone isn't going to be kind to you, then find other people to share your creativity with, and know that the people that really support you, they will cheer you on. They'll ask you questions. They'll want to get to know more about what you're doing, and you'll feel comfortable. You'll have that safe feeling of, I can share this with you. If you are knowing of someone who needs to see this video, please share it with them. Because to me, it's incredibly important that we don't doubt what someone else is capable of. Because as I said, we are not spending our days with these people. And even if we are, people's imagination, people can sit, I've done it. I can just sit quietly and just let ideas run through my mind. I can be, scribbling things down on a piece of paper. I'm here by myself most of the time. My husband's on the road quite a bit. And I spend a lot of time getting better at my crafts. I get better at my speaking. I get better at note taking. I've been writing since I was 12. I had a dad who was an English teacher. There's skills I've built up over the years. But if you didn't know me and you weren't spending all kinds of time with me, you wouldn't be aware of it. And yet we are too quick to judge people. We're too quick to say you can't do something. And I just want to share with you that I won't do that. And people who care about you and respect what you're wanting to do and the, creative whatever you're wanting to get into, they're going to support you in that. They're not going to knock you down. So if you're watching this and you don't think you're creative, again, I'll go back to yes, you are. And second, if you see someone who is very excited about something they're doing from a creative standpoint, please, and I beg of you, please, don't knock them down because you don't think you can do it or because you're not doing it. Support them. Ask them questions. How did you get into this? What have you learned recently? What are you doing right now? That type of thing. Be supportive of it, because you don't need to be creative if you don't want to. Again, you are every day. But if it's not something you want to hone skills in on, please don't take that away from anyone else. So I share this message today with those of you who are watching, who you're creative, you're spending the time, you're learning things, you're practicing whenever you can. I'm here to support you because I know how important creativity is to your well-being and those of the people around you. But if you're watching this because you're kind of curious about it and you've ever been in a position of putting someone down because of their creativity, I beg you not to. Please don't. Know that they're doing something they love to do. And I challenge you to find that creative outlet that you have to express yourself in a way that supports other people, that inspires other people, because it's incredibly important. I'm not going to speak a lot more about this. To me, it was really important that I want people to know that I can't judge you for, your creativity, because it could be, again, I've never done it. I don't know anything about it. I don't spend time with you, not enough time to be able to do it. And until I sit down and get to know you better and ask the questions where you can explain to me what you do and what you've been doing, and you can see the excitement in people because people want to talk about it. And people can inspire me just as much as I can inspire them. So, embrace your creativity. Understand that sometimes you may have to let things just go off to the side because other people aren't going to get it. Sometimes you have to keep it quiet until you get to the point where you really trust enough in what you're doing and that it's not going to matter what other people think. And if you're watching someone or you're seeing someone be creative, ask them the right questions. Be interested. And if you really aren't interested, that's totally cool too. But don't throw water on what they're trying to do, because that's not fair to them. And you're not really doing yourself any favors either. So this was important to me. I thought it was a video that needed to be put out there. That I think there needs to be more support in the world for the creative geniuses that are out there, including yourselves. And again, you may not be able to do something, but you have no idea what someone else is capable of. And I just hate to see people rain on someone else's parade. Anyway, whatever creativity you get up to today, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope it is creative. And I know for myself that when I get creative and the world disappears, reality disappears, I bring a lot of joy into my life. A lot of joy into my life. And I hope to continue to do this for a long time. And I really hope that I can inspire you and or others to tap into their creativity more so that they can have more joy in their lives. Anyways, have a great day. Take care and be intentionally creative. Bye for now.